From the anthems, or rather, the ambient noise, it feels like the match is being played in the home ground of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC national team. There are significantly more fans of this team in the stands than of the Danish national team. In fact, it's questionable whether they're even here today. Well, the stadium is now in favor of the African participant of the 2026 World Cup. So far, everything looks exactly like that. In the big picture, this observation is simply confirmed in all respects. The lineup of Danny's Day's team is on your screens, which retain the previous coach, Brian Reamer, who has been with the team since 2024. Although, of course, after the failure in such matches against the Czech Republic, it became clear that in Denmark, the attitude towards him is extremely negative, but the country's football assistants provided him moral support and kept him in his position. This is the coach who will be coaching Denmark in the next Euro 2020 qualifier. No Danish fans are indeed present here, but their voices are drowned out by the deafening support the DR Congo team will receive today. The Congolese, by the way, also, a playoff tie. It was an intercontinental match against Jamaica, NACA. And on April 1st of this year, the DRC team beat Congo 1-0. Incidentally, the hero of that victory, defender Axel Twanzebe, is in the starting lineup for the Congolese team today. He's wearing the number 4 shirt. We'll definitely see him more than once, including in close-up. Well, here he is in central defense, alongside Captain Bimba. It was his strike that brought victory to the Congolese, and as a prize, the team and the country, Mildic, received their second participation in the World Cup in their history, second after 1974. The DRC Congo team on your screens is French specialist Sébastien de Sabre, who has primarily worked either on the African continent and continues to work there, or in the East. Okay, he's not particularly well known in Europe, but it was under his leadership that they managed to land that lucky ticket, leopard. As we know, the DRC footballers are nicknamed leopards, and every African team inevitably has a nickname, usually related to fauna. Yes. There are exceptions, though. For example, Ghana is the Black Stars. Yesterday, they played to a 1-1 draw with Wales, and today, Congo is against Denmark. But let's see, after this attack, which the Congolese seem to be repelling, but no, the African team hasn't managed to get the ball yet. Eriksson has the ball himself. No, a neat pass. There was an attempt to hide this pass, but the Leopards managed to intercept it for a while. And I think we can finally start with the lineups. The DRC national team, Congo, is the nominal guest of this match, which is taking place at a neutral venue. The next lineup includes Lionel Passy, a representative of Le Havre. He has the number 1. Next up is the third defender, Steve Kaplody from the Polish Championship. He plays for the club Pidzew Loan. Number 4 is Axel Twanzebe from Burley. Number 22 is Chansam Benbe from Lille. Number 24 is Gideon Kalulu from Aris, Cyprus. Number 6 is Ngalael Mukua from Lille. Number 8 is Samuel Mudusami from Atramitis. Number 26 is Artur Masuaku from Lens, and number 25 is Edo Kambe from Vutada. Number 20, the leader of this lineup, is Yohan Visa from Newcastle, and the striker plays under the 17th, LA. And in this lineup, the Africans have a pure forward. This is Cedric Bakambu from the Sevillian Pitas. No action. French specialist Sébastien Desabre is in charge of the African national team, the TR Congo national team, which, as we can see, is currently practicing without the ball. And the Danes are, Willies are clearly looking to quickly upset their opponents. Upset their opponents. Here comes Eriksen's final pass. And, by the way, his second pass has already been intercepted by the opponents. Let's quickly review the Danish national team's lineup. Philip Jorgensen, the Chelsea goalkeeper, is in goal today, number 22. The defenders are number 5, Achim Meho from Wolfsburg, number 3, Oliver Prosgaard from Laco, number 6, Andreas Christensen from Barcelona, and number 13, Rasmus Christensen from Eintracht Frankfurt. The midfield here is a trio of midfielders in the central zone. They are number 10, Eriksen, number 23, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Eriksen from Wolfsburg, number 23, Højbjerg from Marseille, and number 7, Matthias Hensen from Brantford. And the attacking group. We see 3 players in the starting lineup. Patrick Torge from Man United, 17th, Rasmus Haling from Napoli, 9th, and Adam Degim from Wolfsburg, 8th. So we see 3 representatives from one of the most problematic Bundesliga teams of the past season, Wolfsburg, in the starting lineup for the national team, coached by Brian Reamer. Well, the big question is whether these guys will stay for next season. But in any case, as for De Giem, he played on loan, so it's unlikely he will continue his career in the second Bundesliga. And that's where Wolfsburg fell after a 2-legged tie with Paderborn. Paderborn is unexpectedly returning to the Bundesliga. Wolfsburg is relegated for the first time in, well, how many years? We'll have to figure that out a bit later. Meanwhile, the African team is advancing down the right flank thanks to its technical skill. We see that this attack has been successful, and the pass aimed at center forward Bakamba doesn't go through, but the direction was right, and only the reaction of one of the Christensen's, of course, leaves your shot without work. There will be the first corner of this match. Artur Masuaku, we of course know him well from his time with West Ham United in London, but now he's in the French league, a Lens player. And not the best serve, which the Danish team were doomed to cope with, but the ball is lost. And then follows a cross out of bounds. Jurgensen will restart the game either with a goal kick or a play. The Danish national team has dealt with 2 opponents in the playoffs. Here's a dangerous moment. The ball flies out, but it doesn't go for a corner. So let me remind you, after finishing second in their group, the Danish team confidently defeated North Manoli in their first match, winning 4-0. However, in the next match against the Czech Republic, they tied 2-2, after which they had a very poor approach to the penalty shootout, the Danish team
managed to convert only one kick. We are showing the coach under whom they experienced one of the most unpleasant moments in our recent football history. Christian Eriksen scored the only goal of the shootout from the 11th minute. The Czechs, however, converted 3 of their 4 kicks and secured a spot in the 2026 World Cup. Ease. As for the Danish team, until recently, they were a regular participant in major football events, such as the European Championships and the World Cup, of course. This is their first miss. Their first miss since 2014. 12 years, the team qualified for both the World Cup and the Euros. And so a forced downtime, yes, for the Danish national team. Now they need to prove their superiority over an opponent who has successfully accomplished their main goal this season in friendly matches. Oh, no. So far, Brian Reamer's team has a clear advantage, both in terms of territory and other factors. Well, they just couldn't find the ball against Lionel Amposina. They had one shot from outside the penalty area, but it was blocked by an African defender. Yellow. Then there's another approach, a pass, a rather dangerous cross. And as a result of this attack, the Danish players earned a corner. He was reaching for the ball, but defender Rasmus Heiland of Napoli, the Danish number 9, got there first. Napoli. These kinds of passes are from the flank. The focus, of course, will be primarily on the Tatar number 9. We'll see where Eriksson goes next. Incidentally, Tonzabitomes is responsible for Highland. So with this set piece, perhaps in the future the Burnley defender will mark the Napoli striker in similar situations. And then there's a counterattack, a bad pass. Eriksson probably won't leave the counterattack a chance. What an interesting pass, but risky, albeit accurate. But Holbert gets there in time. Holbert is wearing the captain's armband today. Of the 3 central midfielders on the Danish national team, he's obviously a holding midfielder, yes. He managed to return now and help the defenders. Well, Eriksson essentially prevented this counterattack with his intervention. The format of the World Cup has expanded to include so many national teams. For the first time in football history, we will see so many national teams at this tournament. It's certainly astonishing that the Danes weren't among this expanded list. As a reminder, 10 African teams will participate in the World Cup. And here's one of them. The DRC national team hasn't played since April 1st of this year. That last game was a 1-0 victory in an intercontinental tie against Jamaica against African team. Also encountered some serious challenges during their preparation for the World Cup. Part of this preparatory phase was originally planned for a capital, Kinshasa, but an outbreak of Ebola fever forced a radical rethink, and the team was urgently flown to Europe. Moreover, there's a strict requirement DRC to participate in the World Cup. Yes, we'll get to that later. And Bakambo, of course, forgot to shoot on goal. The beta strikers slowed down at a crucial moment. He could, of course, have caused serious problems for the Danish national team with Jorgensen. So before crossing into the United States, Dirk Hong's team, the players, coaching staff, and so on, must spend 21 days in quarantine. Yes. Sapon. Yes. Complete isolation. Besides Denmark, the Kong's team has another opponent ahead, though it's Chile.
The Nagoles will play Chile
Next Tuesday. As for their World Cup schedule in the United States, Mexico, and Canada, Sebastian de Sabra's team is in the same group. It's Group K with Portugal, Colombia, and Uzbekistan.
Well, Uzbekistan is actually making its World Cup debut. Dirk Hong's team will be playing in the World Cup for the second time. As for Portugal and Colombia, everyone knows the situation. Yes, it wasn't a very good pass. He followed it to the right flank of the attack, even though there was such a thin space there. And if one of the defenders had played more carefully, a promising attack could have been made through the right sideline. Moses. So we see that the Congolese team, the DR Congo, isn't really challenging for the ball in the first half, but they're trying to convert every turnover into a counter-attack. Yes. It's perfectly logical that the African guys are playing second fiddle today. They'll likely play at least 2 of their 3 group matches in the World Cup finals too. That's exactly how the Congolese will play. Yes, we can assume this will happen in the matches against Colombia and Portugal. And maybe even all 3. The Danish team launches another attack. The ball goes out of bounds. For some reason, right back, Rasmus Christensen lacked the speed, and I think this genuinely surprised Brian Reamer. And Christensen again hadde Stenagate Sycha. River again. Adam Akim gives away the penalty area, but the pass is extremely irresponsible, and the player, who, let me remind you, belongs to Salzburg. And again, the African team counterattacks to a colossal roar from the stadium. Yes, and I know that 70% of the fans are definitely going to support and are supporting the American team today. Liège today was painted in the colors of the DRNO flag. It hurted the FC.
Good throw in. He should have fought for it, yes, but for some reason he didn't even jump. He did get a little push, though. It's about Potambu. Every more or less successful move delights the majority of football fans gathered today at Liège's Minus 76 Stadium. The arena can accommodate just over 30,000 fans at a time. Well, 30,000 a day, probably not. Not probably, definitely. But more than half, most likely, was strong. Adam Deegem. He plays on the right side of the attack for the Danish national team. He's the number 8 and had some good matches last season with Wolfsburg. Naturally, he scored in the Bundesliga last season, but so far he's been making mistakes for the second time in a row. And then there's Eriksson's return to the defensive midfield. Sebes and Desabra, his protege, disrupts another looming counterattack. Oh, a taxi. Adam Tagim scored 2 goals in 27 Bundesliga games last season. Well, it's highly likely he won't play in the second Bundesliga next season. Most likely return to Red Bulls Salzburg, and then he'll decide what to do next. Tebe rolls the ball around, but the Danish players aren't making any progress. A good pass around Mike, it to make it. No police cosa, no vamos to worry. It was difficult for the Danish